So in this video, I'm going to start going over how to use the Weldment tools within SolidWorks. So first we need to turn on that toolbar. So I'm going to right click, go to tabs, and then turn on the Weldments bar up here, and you'll see it's there. So kind of right off the bat, instead of a regular 2D sketch, I have a 3D sketch, and then I have a Weldment, and then I've got some stuff that's grayed out for right now. So first I want to talk about 3D sketches in general. As we're doing this. So I'm going to click create a 3D sketch, and you can see that it didn't ask me to draw on a plane because I'm drawing on all the planes. All I see is the origin here, and now I can start lining stuff up. So if I pick a command, so if I pick line, you can see it gives me that, or if I pick circle, it'll give me kind of a different, bigger kind of icon here. And so if I pick a circle and I pick here and I hit tab, you can see that I'm switching between the two axes that are highlighted in red. So either the Y and the X here, the Y and the Z there, or the Z and the X there. And so that plane, that's kind of the active plane that I'm drawing on when I'm doing a 3D sketch. And so even if I go to a line, same thing. If I pick somewhere, it's going to kind of highlight those two axes to tell me which plane I'm on, and you can see it's also got the little dotted lines showing me the plane that I'm on the ZX, or I'm on the ZY, or I'm on the XY, or XZ, or YZ, whatever it is. And so I can sketch here too. So kind of an easy way is if I want to maybe start on the origin, I can start with a center rectangle and tab it to get the correct orientation that I want. So let's say I'm going to do some kind of a welded table here. I can come out here and create that, but now I'm going to kind of break my own rules of keeping my sketch simple because I'm only using these lines. I'm not drawing a profile or anything. I'm just kind of drawing all where I want things to be. And so I'm going to draw a line maybe from here. Oh, I want to go down, so I hit tab. Now I can go down. Again, draw another line here, down. That one. That one either. So when I click on the line, you notice that I don't get relations for horizontal and vertical. I get a long blank, so along X, Y, or Z axis. So I want that one on the Y, so I click there. And that one on the Y. I want all these to be the same length, so I can just select all those and say equals. All right, so now I changed one thing, they all change. Ooh, maybe I need to pick this one, tell that to be along the X. Pick that one. It's already kind of going good, but let's look down at it. It's kind of twisting, so along the Z. There we go. Bring stuff in, whatever I want it to be. So add my dimensions. So let's say I want to make this, I made it kind of small. I want to make this 60 inches. Or SolidWorks will automatically scale your whole sketch up based on your first dimension. Make that 30. That's 32. So now I can go and draw other lines if I want. So let's say I want to have there, and then I want to have it kind of come to the middle there. And I'll do the same thing over here. I want these two to be equal. Oop, let's grab that one. Line it up. Make sure we got that one lined up too. So kind of setting our constraints the same way we did before. That one can't move, but I want these two to be the same size. So maybe I put those two edges there to be equal. So now if I move this, those two move. And so maybe I want braces here, whatever. All right. So that's the creating a 3D sketch part. I can draw on the plane, I can draw a vertical, whatever. I can just draw stuff. And right now, I'm not caring about everything here, so but I'm going to draw just one little brace there. Line from there. See, as I kind of come over here, it's overriding the plane that's highlighted and snapping it to be on that edge there. These 2 points there, and make them along the X to line them up there. Dimension, from there to there. Say okay. Now I've got this 2D sketch or 3D sketch done of my thing. Now I need to do something with it. So you can see now I've got options here for weldment and structural member. If I click structural member, it's automatically going to create a weldment for me. So that I don't need to do that part. And then it's going to have here to ask me, what do I want? So the standard is kind of what is it going to look at? What library is it going to look at within SolidWorks to find those parts? So either this ANSI one, which has a lot of different standard size things. So if I go down to, so all these ones that start with AL are aluminum, because aluminum sizes are a little bit different than steel sizes. And so if I come down here, let's see, aluminum tube rectangular. Now I can pick size and tell it what size I want it to be. So it to be a 2x1 0.1 wall. Need to pick the stuff. So say I pick that edge there. You can see it comes in and starts to create that shape for me. Let's say, no, I don't want aluminum, I want steel rectangle tube. I can pick that, and then pick its size, and you can see the steel tube starts at a bigger size, so let's start there. And it adjusts the shape of that, because now it's not an extrusion, it's a formed shape to get there. And if I pick other edges, you can see it automatically miters the corner, and I can control that here if I want it butt joints, if I want to automatically cope it or not. So miters, boom, boom. So I try and doing these other ones here, it's not going to let me pick these other lines right now because it's not doing a corner joint there. But I can create a new group if I want the same material. So if I do a new group, I can pick the same material. And now I can pick other things that are going to be, oh, look, it's not going to let me do that one. But I can do that one and that one. It doesn't want to do that one. So I'm going to say new group again, and then I'll put in this one. One and that one. The legs I want to be different material, so I'm going to say okay. Now I've got that created. But you can see that I put that other one in and look, it did miter it, or it broke it to automatically go around that. Now I've got my legs. I want a different material, so I'm going to do a new structural member. This time I want square tubing. I'm gonna just pick, see, I didn't pick a size. Pick those. That. It kind of made them go all the way up. So I just need to do some trim. So I need to trim that and that to that. Okay. And then trim that and that, that. I want to get that. I'm going to put a piece of iron there. So the structure member there. This time I'm going to tell it to be angle. There. I didn't show you this yet, but if I go in here, I come down here to this locate profile, it's going to kind of pick here, where do I want this to line up onto my sketch? So I can move it there, it'll move it to now that point's lining up instead of that corner there. I can also rotate it here, so let's say I want to rotate up. and flip it around that way. Now it's on the inside, but I kind of like having to go the other way, so I'll go back to 0. It's a nice, kind of a cleaner edge. You can do it in a new group, put it in over here, and I want it to go 90 now because I want it to match. And then I'm going to do the locate profile and pick that in there to move that over and say OK. Again, trim the body to trim and the things to trim it with. I probably could do this by picking those all at the same time, but I'm just keeping it one by one so we can show you again. And there we go. Now I can just go in and hide my sketch. I have all the structural steel made, lined up the way I want it on here. So now's the time that maybe I want to do some of this other stuff. So I want to cap these bottoms of these pieces. So I'm going to do an end cap. And I'll just pick this bottom face. I'll kind of do them all at once. So over here I have options. Do I want it outward? Do I want it inward? Or inside with an offset? So on top, below, or below and inside. So I want to do this one because I want it to automatically size it inside. Right click and edit that. I want to stick it inside. If I just leave it regular, it's going to be square corners. But I could also tell it that I want it to fill out those corners for me, so I have a nice even gap there. That. Then, let's see, I want to gusset here, so let's try this. I'm going to pick this face here, that face there, and I can tell it how big of a gusset I want it to be. Let's do a 3x3. This side too? Nope. So I can do one at a time. Then I can, keep going around and do that if I want to add more gussets. I can also add in my weld beads here, so I can pick in and pick here and here, and it's going to pick the bead between those things. So, say if I pick here and hold Control, can I pick that? Nope, only one. So, if I want this weld here, I pick there, and it's going to draw on that weld for me. See, if I pick both sides, it picks both sides of that same joint. I go into here to define weld to fill out the weld symbol some more if I wanted to. Okay. Say OK. And nothing shows up. But it does list that weld here in the weld list. So when I get to the drawing, I can put that in. I'm just going to save this where it is. Show you how it works in the drawing. So I'm going to call this table and desktop. Build it. Got my desk here. I'm going to go to create a new drawing. Part. I'm going to do a B size and OK. I see what I want, so I'm just going to say OK. And I'm going to do a section so I can get in there and see the inside. So I'm going to do a horizontal section there, here. So now I can see the angle iron. And then I can do a projected view from there to get to the big. So I'll go to the sheet format, go to properties, drop my scale. Maybe I'll make it 1 to 15. Manageable. I can see what's going on. So there I have that, but I need to I need to know what all this stuff is. So I'm going to go to annotation, tables, and I'm going to do the Weldment cut list. So on an assembly, we would do the bill of materials. So if I try that, list, it has one part number and all this stuff. It tells me how many there are, but not how long it is or any of that information. So I'm going to not use that. I want the Weldment cut list. So now when I pick it, okay, it tells me which item it is, the quantity of that piece, what type of material it is, and how long it needs to be. So I can come in. You notice that down here for the gusset and the plate, the end cap, it doesn't include that. So I'd have to go in and put that in manually. But now I can go in, add my balloons, and tell you which piece that is. As we go around. So they correspond. I can also now pull out my weld table on any other views. And tell me that weld. Tell it, call my weld symbol. And here I can manually put in weld information. So if I didn't already do it before, I can come in now. It's out as a square weld. A square. If I type anything in here, it's automatically going to add the tail symbol. So even if I just put a space, now I get the tail. I personally like the tail of my weld symbols, so I would do that at least. So you don't have to use the pre-done welds. You can just come in and start adding your own weld symbols after the fact also. I think if I do the model items, you can see there's my welds. I can see, I should be able to pull that in. We're here on this view of the weld that I done in the part. So, right, that's the basics of creating a 3D sketch and bringing in some components. We'll talk more about how to fill this in the next video.